Hi everybody, welcome to I Want You to Shine channel on YouTube. I'm Lisa. Thanks for tuning in today. I said last time during my last video that I was going to have a special guest, and the special guest is my mother, Marie. And I want to talk today about courage and bravery and sharing and talking about it never being too late to make a change in your life. I heard of somebody that I know through an acquaintance recently that said a while ago that said, oh, it's at our kind of age you can never make a change. Well, I think that's a bunch of bull malarkey. And I'm going to talk about my mom as an example of somebody who breaks the stereotype of that exact opinion of that person. So as I've shared in the past, I've made lots of changes in my life. I've moved different places. I've changed jobs over and over and over again. Went to nursing school when I was 50. My mother was born in Canada and went to Florida when she was, you were in your 20s, right, Mom?
Like 26, yeah.
And she had never been to Florida before, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Then she lived in Florida with our father, who they were married for 55 years, I think, before Dad died. Yeah. And then my mom decided at the age of 83 to sell the home that we had lived in, that she had owned for 55 years with my dad, sell the home and moved it back to Canada and live in an apartment for the very first time in her whole entire life. She's 88 now, looking great, by the way, and living alone and having a great life, driving and all that. So I wanted to just ask my mom some questions today about the things that she's done in her life that I and my sisters all see as very, very brave. So Mom, you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
That's my mom.
Hi,
that's
everybody.
Our mom, Marie. My sister's doing the camera and sound today. My great sister. So, Mom, tell me a little bit about what your decision was when you decided that from Canada in your 20s you were going to go to Florida on vacation.
Well, we were just sitting. I was sitting with my girlfriend, and we were just talking about we'd like to go somewhere different. So we thought, well, what about Europe? But then we decided we didn't have enough money to go to Europe. So, and then I said, oh, I have a friend that lives in Miami, Florida. She's
Eleanor?
Eleanor. She's a registered nurse. And so we decided she lived in Miami. So we decided we might do that. And then I had a little bit of insurance that I cashed in so I could make the trip. And then, so we came down here, and incidentally, I had never flown before. This was my first time. So we went down, we went down for 3 weeks. We flew on a what's those big airplanes?
707?
No, that's before jets.
DC-6?
No, a Constellation, a Super Constellation. And
you could tell she was meant for my father because she knows a lot about airplanes and aviation.
Yeah, right. So we came down for 3 weeks, and as the saying goes, I got sand in my shoes. So when I came back, that's when I decided to make the move, and I had to get my visa and a whole bunch of stuff. I had X-rays. They wanted everything to make the move, and I had enough little bit of money I could sponsor myself. So I stayed with Eleanor for a few months till I got a job. Oh, I had saved enough money to come back to Toronto in case things didn't work out. So I think just about when I had just had enough money to buy a ticket to come home, I got a job.
Right. And where at the airport?
Yeah, at the airport for Hertz Rent-A-Car.
And how long? So our dad worked at the airport, and that's where they met. Well, my dad spied my mother. I'm sure she was stunning. She looked like a movie star. So I'm thinking that my dad saw her, and that was all she wrote after that. But so how long had you worked at Hertz?
About a year.
And then you met Dad.
Yeah, I met him in the interim, because we learned. At that time, we had the old airport. You'd never know it today with this gorgeous place we have now, but this was the old international airport was in a hangar, huge hangar. So all the airplanes came in the back and emptied in the front. It was exciting, really.
So what was that like for you to be away from your home country?
It didn't really bother me at first, except that when some people would come in from Canada, you know, because they always pass over beside my desk, and they'd say, "Oh my God, I just left a blizzard. It was awful." And I would pine away for the smell of the snow, you know. Once a Canadian, always a Canadian, I guess.
And what about your family? Because I remember that Kimberly told me when you came to visit me in Ithaca many years ago that you told her you were very homesick when we were growing up for Canada, but
Yes.
we didn't know that, and I
Yes,
think it made you very
I was.
sad sometimes.
Yeah, because then Daddy would say, "I think you should go home. Yeah, if you want to go to Canada for a little while." I did have some moments, yes.
When you missed your family and the
I
way
missed-
of life.
Yeah, the
and-
way of life, because it was so different.
Yeah.
And I eventually, of course, adjusted, but
And then you became sort of a Florida person, but then we went to Canada almost every summer as kids to
Yeah.
see our relatives and mom's friends, and usually, oh yeah, here's another very brave thing that usually almost every time we went, our dad only went a couple of times, but we usually only just the three girls with our mom.
Yeah,
So, and one time drove there, and one time went on the auto train, right?
yes, that's right.
Which
we
back
went
in the 60s, in the early
Yeah.
60s, was very unusual for a woman of that era to be doing with her three kids by herself.
But I was used to doing things on my own, because Daddy and I were very independent. We were both independent people. Maybe because we're firstborns, both of us. And yeah, I used to love to drive and travel and travel and
And
travel.
did you get nervous and scared when you came?
No.
No?
No, I never. You mean about driving?
Yeah, when you were just alone with us kids.
No, not at all. No.
What about when we made that wrong turn in Washington D.C. though?
Oh my God, yes, I remember that.
Were you nervous? What was that like?
I was probably mad going around the Beltway around Washington, and I kept trying to find the exit to get up back on I-95, I suppose. And I remember one of the girls saying, "Hey Mom, look at that, there's the Capitol or
The monument."
The monument." I said, "I don't give a damn about that, I want to get off of this Beltway."
Yeah, that's stressful
That's
being
what
in big cities
yeah,
like that.
it is. Yeah. So
And
anyway, we made the trip and it was great.
And so I want to now talk for a couple of minutes about my mom's decision after our father died. So our dad died in January of 2011, and then I had moved back home to help with Dad and to help Mom figure out what she wanted to do. So I remember the day when Uncle Kenny and I went out to lunch with you, and then you were nervous to. You thought, oh, it'd be too much work to move to Canada, and we said, whatever you want to do, it will happen. I'll make it. We'll
Right.
make it. You and I and my sisters will make it happen.
But I didn't move until a year. Somebody had told me a long time ago,
Yeah.
don't ever make a drastic decision like that for at least a year after your husband dies, passes away.
So, and you did it like a year and a few
it was
months.
about a year, yeah, a year and a few months.
And then you came here to Canada where you live alone for the first time, which I think is very brave in my
The
opinion.
first night I spent in my apartment, I had to have my sister spend the night because I didn't know how it was going. I had never in my entire life lived alone, never. So, but I got used to it. It was okay.
And so how is it for you now?
Well, I certainly like living by myself. Yeah.
It doesn't.
love
You're
it.
not scared. ever.
No, not at all.
And you still driving. You
Oh, yeah,
have your
thank
little
God.
your little life here in the city where you live.
Going to my club, my seniors club, which is nice.
So how would you define courage and bravery in your words?
Oh Lord.
In regard to yourself and what you've done in your life. And,
I don't know if it's being brave or having a lot of, well, could be courage, yeah. I never thought of myself as brave, actually. I just, I wanted, like when I took the trip up here by myself with the two kids, somebody told Daddy, "Are you going to let her go by herself with two children, drive all that way?" You know what he said? What do you want me to do? Say no? When I made up my mind to do something, I would say, I'm going to do it.
So you are
I
very,
didn't question. So
you're
I
very
guess I'm just
strong,
strong.
very
and
strong-willed.
I'm just very strong-willed.
I think we all, my sister Susan here and our other sister Jody would all agree that our mom is really a very, very strong person. The fact that she left her country, moved to another country, only
Yeah.
knowing a few people. She lived her whole life and then moved back to her country of birth when she was in her almost mid-80s. And now, 88 years old, does she look amazing or what? She's pretty amazing. And who does she look like, people? Who does she look like? Does she look like Dame Judi Dench? Everywhere we go, every airport, every city, people are always coming up to her and saying something about, did you know that you look like Judi Dench?
Or are you?
Or are you Judi
Are you
Dench? If only she had Judi Dench's money.
Yes, that would be nice.
So I just wanted to share my mom's story with you all today because I think no matter what you want to do, it's never too late to make a change, to reinvent yourself, to follow a dream, to create something in your life that you want for yourself. So I just want to encourage you, no matter who you are and where you are, whatever that idea is, to go for it. Maybe use my mom's story as inspiration for yourself. And if you have fear, if you have trepidation, if you're worrying about what people might think about you, I certainly, think of that in my life. But luckily, I've had a very supportive family to
that's true.
support me in everything I wanted to do in my life.
And like with me, like the girls always supported me. Do whatever you think is right. And I don't know if it takes courage. Maybe it does. I really don't know.
So I personally think it's courage, and maybe it's just second nature to some of us to be strong.
Yes,
You think
I
maybe
think.
that's it?
First of all, I'm a firstborn, and I've always been little brave.
And then, like
and
Susan,
like
independent.
Susan's like that
My
too.
sister, the camera
Doing
girl.
things that most other kids would never do. I guess I just had. I don't know. It just
Well,
Well, you're
sports.
adventurous streak like
Just
a gypsy.
adventurous.
Mom's a
streak.
traveler.
That's right. I've always loved, even when I was very young on the island. I remember taking the trip on the train, going to Charlottetown to visit. I was
How
just
old
a
were you?
kid. I don't know, about 14, 15. And yeah, I just,
So mom's a pioneer woman, don't you think?
I'm a
got a
pioneer
wisdom,
woman.
too.
Yeah, and wisdom, that sort of wisdom to know yourself enough to know that you need to do what your desires and your dreams are. So
Yeah.
don't lose sight of your dreams, okay? Follow them and do them no matter what, okay? So I want you to know that I love you, I support you, and I am here to watch you as your dreams unfold. And if you want to write me an email, I have an email address at lisa@iwantyoutoshine. If you want any kind of support, shoot me an email, okay? And my website, if you haven't visited it, is www.iwantyoutoshine.com. So I love you, and thank you, Mom, for being with us today.
I've enjoyed
Wasn't my
it.
mom awesome on the
right.
camera? All right, loves, have a wonderful day. Talk
Bye.
to you soon.